How do you build a £700,000 a year AI business from a standing start? I'm joined by Dilan.
I worked at JP Morgan. My social media got into the press. Head of equities went nuts.
Who's quit his job, got his business started,
I didn't know how to scale and build a business.
and not really been sure what the right moves are to make. How do you manage to run a school ball at a strip club? Expert at AI. I'm going to turn that expertise into income in today's episode of the Business Growth Secrets Audit.
Genius, absolute genius.
Welcome, Dilan. Really looking forward to this. I've been super excited. Welcome to the Business Growth Secrets Audit. Why don't we kick off by just you explaining a little bit about yourself. How's it been going in the business so far, and give everybody a little bit of an understanding of where you're at.
Thank you very much, Adam. It's great to be here. My name is Dilan Abaya, and my background actually has been corporate, 15 plus years on a trading floor, always with an inkling since I was a child to run my own business, but I was always cajoled into going the safe route.
Who cajoled you?
Parents, school, grandparents, friends, my whole circle. They weren't risk takers in that context.
And did that stop you then from starting your own business and getting going, do you think?
I was definitely persuaded away from running my own business. The entrepreneurial spirit was always something that was in me since I was a kid. I used to run the tuck shop. I used to run the school ball I ran. It was the first one that actually made money at Stringfellows. It was always in a...
You ran a school ball?
Yes.
A Stringfellows?
Yes.
How do you manage to run a school ball at a strip club?
So I think the owners were like a little bit surprised that a school kid would come up to them and have the gall to say, can I run my sixth form school ball at your club? Because all of them been like church halls or this and they were just dull and boring. I was like, I'm not doing that. Buying and selling shares was something that was hugely exciting to me, and it definitely captured my interest. And I think that side of risk taking and trading was something that was really interesting to me and captured my interest. But the corporate side and how that limits you was something I was able to fend off because I was in a role that I liked.
So how long did you stay in a corporate role before you finally took the decision to quit and start your own business?
It was my personal life that blew up, that really then triggered a journey on social media, documenting my trials and tribulations, my coping mechanisms that I went through in order to be able to sort of get through those things. I was 28 kilos heavier than I am today. In a low point, relationship blown up, work was what it was all not good. I worked at JP Morgan. My social media got into the press. A journalist had written an article about me at JP Morgan and some other guy at Goldman Sachs, and my head of equities went nuts. They never dealt with a banker that had his Instagram account that went into the press.
Yeah, and you sort of became an influencer then, right? And you know, to a degree, would you call it that?
I mean, I didn't even really think of it like that.
Yeah.
All I was doing was just documenting how I was dealing with my own situations in the hope that what I was writing maybe might help other people.
How do we transition from all of this? Because to the point where we're now going to go and build a business, and obviously you met us, you then joined the All-In Gold Circle program. What's the journey been like since then?
So I went on a journey to create products, and I was like, I got a product, I've got something I want to scale, but I didn't have a business model behind that. And that's when I found big business entrepreneurs or events back then. And I wanted to be around people who had skin in the game, who'd run their own businesses, around other entrepreneurs who I could learn from, because I knew I had a knowledge gap.
Brilliant stuff. So what we're going to do today is we're going to chart that path to how do we take this and, you know, really start to get you in a place where you're super happy with the business, you get all the growth you want, you start to develop, grow, get clients, make money, whatever your ambitions are. Let's take a look at it.
So Dilan Abaya Limited is my base company, and that has two products, AI Dilan, which is an AI version of myself, and my one-on-one mindset coaching. Coming to BBE really opened my eyes to a different angle on the business. I didn't know how to scale and build a business. I didn't have a business model around it. And so I came to experts who'd run their own businesses, and you specifically told me that, well, your AI version of you and your AI product is genius, Dylan. Congratulations on creating that. But really, that's not where the opportunity is. I genuinely thought that everyone was thinking of creating an AI of themselves and that they would be able to go and build it. I absolutely naively thought that. You opened my eyes to the fact that, well, it might be easy for you, Dylan, and you might have thought it, but other people, even if they thought it, don't know how to build it. That's what you should do. And that hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, I came to BBE with a certain plan and an idea. My instant response to you was, yes, I can do that. I knew it was a lot of work because it took me a year to build my own. I was like, oh God, I could do that for some other people. It's gonna how long is that gonna take? But if I were to do it again, all the mistakes, trials, tribulations that I went through to build AI Dylan, if I were to create AI Dylan again, that would take me, I'd take it down to like 3 months, 2 months.
Yeah.
And so that's what I went to explore. Yeah. Which is exceptionally important to me, to be able to differentiate and then also build my own business.
So I do have some questions around that, which we'll come to. But I think the first thing I want us to just say to everybody that's watching is that a lot of the time when you gain a ton of experience in any area of life, because you've gained that experience and you've gone on that journey, it's very common for you to think that other people know the stuff that you know. But actually, it's like speaking a completely different language when you start talking about the stuff that you know to someone else. They don't know it and they have to learn it from scratch. And if it took you a year to learn, it might take someone else a year or 2 or 3 or 5 years to learn. So often we can underrate our knowledge and our IP. This is what you call IP, your intellectual property, your knowledge of how to put things in place. And that's what Dylan did here, which is really cool. So we've uncovered that, which is awesome. So now that we know, this is where you're at. Is it your current status of the business?
So I came into BBE pre-launch with a couple of products. I'm now pivoted. So I had to like almost have a second pre-launch to then build, okay, what would the process be for me to be creating AI personas for other people? Yeah. I secured one client, which is you, to create an AI Adam. And actually, that was really the key to sort of understanding where to start with this new concept, because the concept right here, right now, really is going to be something that entrepreneurs, coaches are going to be able to see more value in than corporates at this point in time. Yeah, for sure. Corporates are tied with red tape of legal, regulation, compliance, etc. There's so much red tape to the extent that even on trading floors right now in London or in New York or anywhere in the world, they're not allowed to use ChatGPT 4 because of leakage, etc. So now I've got this thing where AI is this huge buzz, but quite honestly, no one really knows how to implement it into their businesses. But having pivoted to think about creating a business whereby I create AI personas for other people so they actually embed AI into the operations of their business, that is where I'm at. So
just to recap where you're at, your current phase is you've gone from pre-launch to launch, you got a client on board and you got a ton of leads. Right. So this is where we're at, but we're not necessarily closing their leads. And we need to understand how to get those leads done, how to close those leads, and how to get those different bits. So that's the first part. That's where you're at now. Okay, great.
The money is obviously key, right? But I feel the money's the spin-off to what the real target is. And the real target is helping people to scale their message. I want a minimum of 2 to 5 clients a month. I'd like to scale that to 10 a month to really help people implement AI into the bed of their business. I have one other guy who helps me, who works with me to create these, but to really then have a process in place whereby I'm creating 10, 20 a month of AIs of different people in place.
Okay, fabulous. So that's pretty clear. We're going to do some work on that. Outcome-wise, let's imagine you're getting 2 to 5 clients a month. How much is your business going to be earning? Is that enough money for you?
5 clients a month at 10K a pop would be absolutely great as a starting point. And actually, the product is more than just creating the persona. If creating the persona was 10K plus VAT, is one thing, I now also have another bit whereby I can help people monetize their persona.
First of all, we've got a target there of we want to get to £600,000 a year, basically, with this business, 50 grand a month. We're going to look at some restructuring. I'm also going to look at restructuring the positioning. Tell me how badly you want it.
I desperately want this. I want to bring this creativity out. And I feel that this can be a game changer for so many different people on so many different levels.
What's driving you? Is it because you just want to build a business? You want to build a business, have that freedom, and that's kind of the main thing, is it? Is that what we want?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to see if I can do this.
Okay. So it's almost like a personal challenge as well, isn't it? It's a challenge. The reason I ask that is because as we go through the advice and the guidance, I'm going to look at certain things that take you slightly off track. And if your main goal is I want to impact people and I want to help people and that's all I want to do, then there are ways to accomplish that. If you're like, actually, I want to build an amazing business, there's ways to achieve that. So what we have to do is the strategy has to match the purpose. And that's a good lesson for people that are watching. Whatever your internal drive is, we want to make sure that we understand that, because if we go and then build a business, and you can end up building a business, spending 5 years building something out and being really unhappy at the end of it because you didn't get what you wanted in the beginning. So what I'm trying to do is get that purpose aligned with the strategy, because I think there's some strategy changes that need to happen in order to make this business amazing. By the way, I think it's massive potential, right? I think this is going to be awesome.
So I think the main challenges or challenge has been presenting a completely new concept to people. At first, they're like, what are you talking about? But by the time I finish talking to them about it, they're like, yeah, I want that. And that is an incredible conversation to have within like 10, 15 minutes from like a 0 to 1. And then it's a case of, okay, what's involved in that? And so I'm at the very, very early stages of targeting specific people, entrepreneurs, coaches, that niche that I'm focusing on.
People are not saying yes quick enough in the pipeline, and that's where the challenge lays. Is that correct?
Correct. I've got people saying, go away, to come back in 6 months, to send me more information. So it's a mix. That's the range that I've got at the moment.
Okay. Well, look, I think you've given a really, really good indication of the background, where you've come from, what your challenges have been, a really good indication of where the business is at, where you want to be. You know, we've established that. And now we can literally jump into the solutions. And there are some striking things here that are really, we can resolve very quickly, which is going to be really, really cool. I think it's going to be amazing, and I'm really, really excited. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip over. We're going to take the slides out, and I'm going to start to map out your business on the screen. Now, first of all, a couple of questions. How coachable are you, Dylan?
Very coachable.
How willing to change are you?
I am very willing.
How much do you want it?
More than anything.
All right, okay. You ready to go?
Yes.
Let's go. That's brilliant stuff. So we've identified these challenges. So first of all, we know where we want to be. So we want to look at what the target is, that we want to be getting 5 clients per month, and we want to be getting 50K a month essentially in revenue. Yeah. And the challenges that you've perceived, if you said, look, this is what's standing in the way of that, is having the right leads in. And essentially what's happening is you are doing loads of work, going out, trying to spread the message to other people who don't really know too much about AI. And you're like, hey, you know, you need this thing. It's awesome. And then they see it and they're like, yeah, it is awesome. And they're like, okay, it's 10 grand. And then they go, yeah, it is awesome, but I don't really know you that well yet. So what's happening is then your lead goes frosty and cold, right? Which means that you'd end up chasing ghosts, right? And the problem is we've not put in place one of the fundamentals, which is a value ladder for the business. So in terms of the training that we do, and certainly you've done an amazing job with what you've done. The product you created is outstanding. You know, I think that people are going to absolutely love it. But this is what's happening right now is, you know, as I've just explained there, you've got a client that comes to meet your business and comes to meet you in the first place. And in order for them to do business with you, they have to put a rocket pack on and have to fly to the top of the mountain, because at the top of the mountain, you're asking them to pay 10 grand off the bat. And the problem there is that people don't like to do that. What people like to do, instead of taking a rocket pack to the top of the mountain, is they like to go step by step. So what they want to do is you want to open up a ramp for them to be able to walk up the mountain and really be able to get to know you. And when they know you, like you, and trust you, they're going to have absolutely no problem going on that journey. So this is the what we call a value ladder or a value ramp, where the more that people get to know you, the more they purchase from you, the more they spend time with you, the easier it is for them to say yes to the other options. And there might be, this is a 5K option, this is a 10K option, we might have a 2K option, we might have a 1K option, and we might even have a free option to start. And that's what's going to take them up the value ramp to really allow us to do a lot more business. And what we've got to do in this case for the business is we've got to build a product range that's easy for people to get to know you, say yes to you, build that relationship. And I think we've got the perfect solution. It's actually really simple. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to solve the problem of leads very quickly. We're going to talk about it in a moment. And we're going to solve the problem of clients and getting that 50K, and we're going to do it in a step-by-step. Sound good?
Sounds amazing.
Right. So when we look at building your value ladder, your value ramp up, and us building clients along the journey, there's some important psychology which takes place. And again, as you said, you're great at tech, great with people, but actually the business model and the business structure is what needs building here. So this is very, very popular. It's used by so many different businesses all over the world, and it is used to help people to elevate through the process of buying. I'll give you some examples, right? If you look at Apple as a company, they used to have a very expensive product range back in the day, where they used to have the Macintosh, which was thousands and thousands of pounds. And in order to, buy an Apple product, you had to take a rocket pack to the top to buy a Macintosh. The problem is they weren't selling very many of those, because you could go and get a Windows computer for so much cheaper, where you didn't have to take a rocket pack to the top of the mountain. So what happened is people got used to Windows. Apple started dying out. At this point, Steve Jobs came back to Apple. And what did Steve Jobs do? He recognized this problem and said, well, right, we've only got this to offer them. We don't have a relationship with them. They don't know us. We're asking them to leap too high to test our product. So we need to build them up through the process. So what did he do? He came out and he invented iTunes. And then iTunes was 99p to download the songs. That got people buying all the time. He then started to bring in your iPod. If you're going to have iTunes, you need an iPod. Then he brought in your iPhone. Then he brought in your iPad. And before you knew it, guess what? You had a MacBook Pro. Right? Very simple way of journeying people through. And they journeyed up the ladder. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's a good business lesson, first of all, for you and people that are watching. But now we need to say, well, how are we going to apply this to your business? And understand the concept of the lesson, which is the most important part, is when we talk about these things, there's two things to remember. Number one, it's the psychology. And then number two, it's the application to your business. The psychology is this: paying clients, if they buy something and they have a great experience, they are much, much, much more likely to buy again. All right? So it's much easier to get one of your clients to buy something again from you, to find someone new that you never met and get them to buy from you. So you always want to have a repeat business model. You always want to have a way that you elevate people up the ladder or up the ramp where they're working with you. And you've got to have ways that you can bring people into your world. Because you can go out right now and you said leads are the problem. You can generate as many leads as you want. But if every conversation you have with those leads is you've got to pay 10 grand, you're going to struggle. Okay? So we've got to build this out. When these people inquire to you, they're like, oh, yeah, AI, it's hot. Yeah, I want AI. Yeah, this is really, really cool. But they don't really understand it. They know it's cool, but they don't know how to use it. Would that be about right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So what we need is we need to way to get them absolutely hooked on AI, where they realize the power. Therefore, they go, right, I want more AI. I want more AI because it's making my life easier. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. And this is how I would change this business. I would have a free offer that sits at the bottom of the value ramp. Okay, and we'll talk about and we'll decide what that free offer is in a moment. The reason we want a free offer is we want to have a low friction way for people to get started. Okay. Because let's imagine we run some Facebook ads for your business tomorrow, or some Google ads, YouTube ads, whatever. We're like, hey, inquire here to book a call with me about how you can build your own personalized AI for your business. What's going to happen? People would book that call, and then they get very nervous when they realize that it was 10 grand, and they'll be like, well, yeah, okay, I don't really know you yet. I've got to do some research on you. How long have you been doing this? What case studies you got? You got all those problems. Have you experienced any stuff like that?
Yeah, most definitely.
So what we want is we want something that we can get people onto a call with a free offer, which we'll talk about in a moment. And then we want the first thing that we offer them to be, we want to have what we call a downsell. What sort of things are they saying to you, Dylan? What sort of things are they asking? Do they ask you what you can do, how you can do it? What happens in these conversations? Talk to me a little bit about that, buddy.
So by the time I call someone, I've sent them 2 or 3 emails that are warm-ups to what this is and the maths behind it. I show them a free version of AI Dylan.
Yep.
Which they can use and play and talk to so they get a feel of what that product is. Then I tell them, what if you had one of yourself? And then I talk to them about what an example investment would be to create this and then to monetize it.
Okay.
So by the time I could speak to them, like, yeah, saw your email, makes sense, but really AI? To, yeah, I see it. I want other early adopters to take it on board, mess it up, and then I'll come back to you in 6 months. Or that's really interesting. Send me a bit more information and call me next week. So I've got that range.
Okay. So do you send them the AI Dylan before they get onto a call with you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So stop doing that. Because now they've got the AI Dylan, they can play around with it. They get to demo your product in their own time, see the product, and then they get to make a decision on the product without actually understanding what the product will do for them.
Right.
So what you need is a wow, not how demonstration. So what you want to do is instead, your free offer can be to build them onto a demo, right? Where they actually come on and they have the demo live with you. That way, you're in control of the outcome and you can get a decision there and then.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so straight away, now they're further into the pipeline. Now, the one thing that we need to invest in people to get them to move along our process is we need to invest time. And if we just send them emails and they're able to do this stuff on their own, we're not spending any time with them. So the first thing we can do is we can invite them to that demo. So they come on a demo of us, we show them the power of AI in their business, and we can have some curiosity about it. And the person coming onto the demo, all we know at that stage is they want to use AI in their business. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What we're going to do is we are going to invite people on the first step to that free AI demo. Okay. Now, what we need to do is we need to brand that up in a way where there's some curiosity. I don't want them to understand exactly what's happening, because what I want to do is I want to run ads from you where you talk to business owners and say, hey, are you worried about getting left behind by AI? Do you feel like, your actual business could be at risk? Jobs within your business could be at risk? Or are you actually excited about adopting AI into your business, but you don't know how? We have a new AI program that is revolutionizing businesses for coaches, consultants, service-based businesses, and can save you up to 100 hours per week, and really want to get that hook. So if you are a coach, a consultant, a service-based business who wants to save 100 hours a week, you can book your free demo here where we show you exactly how we can save you that time back in your business. You spent 1 minute watching this ad. This could be the best 1 minute you've ever spent in your life, because we're going to save you 100 hours a week moving forward in terms of across your organization. And when we say the 100 hours a week, is that could be, 30 hours of your own time, but another 70 hours of your team's time. Wow. Okay. Well, look, I'd be stupid not to go and check that out. It's a demo. It's free. I've got an irresistible offer. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, great. What we then want to do is we then understand that lots of people will then be booking demos, right? So we've got these demos coming in, and we've got these different people coming into the demos, having these different conversations. I won't get you too excited, but I think there's actually 2 high ticket offers that can be built into here. I think that there is a high ticket offer for actually the build, and then I think there's a high ticket continuity offer which I think is even cooler, right? What I then feel that when we come onto the demo, we've got a number of options. We've got a downsell, which we're going to have here, right? Which is literally, we're going to say to people, this is option 1. We're going to have a core product, option 2, high ticket plus high ticket continuity, which are pretty much just 2 different ways of paying for the same option, right? So the core that I believe that we should be looking at is that we should be selling AI training to businesses. I think that that's going to be the core offer. And what I mean by that is that's you, every person you know, because I know that you've already spoken to your corporate people and all the different people, is they would all day long pay for you to go in and see 10, 15, 20 of their staff and train them to be more efficient on AI. So the question is, do you think you could do that?
Yes, I could teach people how to use it, think about AI, implement it. Yeah, without a doubt, in context of the apps that I've used so far.
Okay, so what we're doing is we're going to go ads into demo, and then we're going to have, look, we can come in and train your teams, get them all using AI. And that's going to be your small business owner with 10, 20 staff. You go into their business, you train them on AI, you get them up to date. There's a real lack of training out there at the moment for people, and business owners will want that. You know, you're someone that knows it, you've experienced it, you understand how to use it, you understand prompts, you understand actually tone. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that in itself, if you were training 10 people at a time, you know, even a 4-hour session on that's about £2,500 for 4 hours. So if you were doing per day, you could do 2 sessions in a day. You're talking like $5,000 a day potentially. Now, if that sounds like a lot of money, you can start charging less. So what you could do is you could start with £1,000. Hey, I come in for £1,000 into your business for a half day. I train as many staff as you want. You bring them in. We do up to 10, but you bring 5 in, you bring 3 in. Then you got £1,000 a day. And then you can raise the prices as the demand raises. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And guess what? They're going to want you to come back. But even more importantly than that is, as soon as you've been into their business, what you got? You spent time with them. You got know. You got like. You've got trust. And guess what else? You're the expert. So now they want your opinion on what they should do next and how they should adopt this for the business. And all of a sudden, you're now in their business and you're seeing the opportunities. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. So even if you were to have 10 days a month on this business, right, that's 10 grand a month. That's £120,000 a year in training at a low rate. By the way, that's the bottom of the market. How do I know? Because I've already spoken to people about doing this within my business, right? So I've asked, like literally, I spoke to all the different training companies. There's barely any out there. People want it badly, and it's $2,500 for a 4-hour session, pretty much. So you can charge half of that or less to start with, build your confidence, and then double your prices, right? So get a few case studies under your belt. You can train founders. You can train a founder and the management team. You can train 4 people. You go in, you start booking those different things on a downsell. There'd be no brainer for them to say yes to that. You get an owner on the call and you say, I come in, I'm going to make your business more efficient. They're going to say yes. What have we done? We now took them on a step. Took them from being a free client to being a client here. Now, this obviously, there's a lot more to do on the journey here, because you're going to get a ton of people that come on and they're like, well, I'm not really I haven't got that many staff in my business. I don't know if I can do this for my business, etc., etc. So this is where you create a downsell. Same AI demo. This is option 1. Downsell is, right, okay, well, look, you can take my AI training, and my AI training shows you how to use it within your business. This is £497. It's an online course. And every time you do a phone call, at least you've got something to downsell into. So you record a little course, $497, bang. This is how you go and use that. And that way, every phone call you do is a £500 potential. You start doing 4 phone calls a day, 4 downsells, £2,000. Let's say 50% of them don't want it, still $1,000 just for doing phone calls. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
So then this can become, you know, another $5,000 a month downsell, which then brings you in another 60K. So now what you've done is you cut up the cake. You got £180,000 worth of revenue before you've done any of this hard work. Okay. So let's picture this and imagine this. You're doing your demo calls. You're spending a bit of money on ads to bring people in. You give them a demo of AI Dilan and you say, I am an AI expert. I help businesses with AI. I help them to improve their operations. I've got a number of different options that I can help you with. I've got an amazing AI course where you can save time by following the course. I've got an option where I can come into your business for a half day, for a full day. Now you've got those options where you can go in. Alternatively, I can build you your own persona like my AI Dilan, which is the demo that you've just sat through. Make sense?
Yeah.
So what do we do with that? There is an option where you can do it as a one-off £10,000. It takes 3 months to build and we deliver you the product. Alternatively, we do it high ticket continuity. We have got an option where I can do it all with you. You have to pay 3 months up front and it's £1,000 a month. It's on a 12-month license. So now they're paying 12 grand a year. Well, it's actually paying 15k a year rather than just paying a one-off of 10k. Now, people would be crazy to do that, but what you'll be, because they could have just bought the product, but people would actually probably prefer to do that. And the reason they prefer to do it is because you say, I'm going to keep you on the cutting edge. I'm going to keep updating it. I'm going to give you the analytics. I'm going to give you the info. I'm going to tell you what questions people are asking. I'm going to show you how to use it in the business. I'm going to train the people on the business. And now you've got a whole AI service model where they're charging them £1,000 a month and you can go in and you get other people to go in as well. So if you sell a couple of these a month, this gives you the 20k, which gives you 240, which basically takes you 180 plus your 240. That gives you 420,000. And then if you had 10 people paying you on a recurring, brings you that income into the business and gets you in a great place. A lot of information there. Yes or no, Dilan?
Most definitely.
Yeah. We've got the old business model where we get lots of people in the pipeline, but they don't convert. We've now got the new stepped business model where people are going to come in. So this is the entire business. We are going to run meta ads. I mean, we can look at meta ads. We can look at LinkedIn ads as well because we can then target some specific people. We even do Google PPC of people that are looking for AI experts, AI training, PPC being Google ads, right? Then we are going to offer them a free demo, which has that hook of saving them time and efficiency in the business. We need some type of online course, or this could be a membership if you want to do it easier. You do a membership on a school group of 497, and that just shows them how to use AI efficiently within the business. We then have AI training with the bottom price level at 997 a day or a half day. This is AI training for businesses, where you take groups of their businesses and you really go in and train them. You show them prompt engineering. You show them how to build a tone of voice for their business. You show how to get everybody in the business using AI, which they're going to love because it's going to save them loads of money, right? And then we have a high ticket offer, and then we have a high ticket continuity offer. So the high ticket offer is 10K. I'll build you your own version of your AI Dilan, where that deals with your customers, that speaks to all the people, that saves you hundreds and hundreds of hours. Alternatively, you can pay 3 months up front, you can pay £1,000 per month, and then you get your own version of AI Dilan, but you get updates, you get training, and I come in and I train your team on how to use it, okay? Then we look at the numbers, simply 10 memberships a month, right? 5 grand a month, this gives us 60,000, okay? Let's say we do 10 of these half days a month. That gives us 10 grand a month. That makes us 120,000. Now we've got these different people coming into the business and we've got them coming consistently. We get to 5 of these. This gives us the 5 you wanted, which gets us 50 grand a month, which gives us 600,000. Okay. And then we can start to have, let's say, 5 of these. We've got £5,000 a month. We've got another 60K coming in recurring plus the actual revenue, which gives us 180. 680 to £740,000 a year, and that's just in the first year. How do you feel about that?
Genius. Absolute genius.
Is there anything you can't do?
I would need to put bits together on a course.
Yeah.
I would have to map that out to see what that looks like. Could I do that? Absolutely. So these steps to get there is what I would need to figure out and do.
Okay, right. So this is your actions now. So now you know the model, right? And this is the model that we want to work on and put in play. Let's now just literally line up your action steps. So just for everybody that is watching, what we've just built out there very quickly for Dilan, I want to just explain the psychology before we move into the action steps so you totally get it, right? The psychology is this. By inviting people to a free demo, we've got very, very low friction. People will be crazy not to attend because we've got a great hook. So there's no reason why they wouldn't come to that. There are 6.3 million business owners in the UK alone. Right now, there is a complete shortage of people that are able to do AI training and AI development. You know, it still is an emerging industry. So if Dilan's really fast and hot, he can come in and he can grab tons of business, which is going to be awesome. From there, the downsell is he's going to get lots of people that come on a call with him. He's going to get a few people that, let's be fair, are tire kickers, right? Where they're just going to want to ask lots of questions and maybe they love AI and they're not going to buy. But we want to have every single time we take a call, we want to have the opportunity to earn some money. But by having a £500 product that they can go and learn about using AI, this is going to enable us to pick up some income from those people. But it does another thing. One, it will satisfy any tire kickers because they've got something that they can buy. But also, it will help give us a downsell, which allows us to nurture people onto the next stage of the journey, which is awesome. Then, for those businesses that come on and they want AI training, this is a great way. They've met somebody that is such an expert. And this is the psychology. Dilan has positioned himself as such an expert. He's built his own AI version himself. He knows it inside out. He's proved it. It's called a demo of power. He's actually shown people that he's an expert, so they'd be mad not to take his training because they don't want to find anybody else that knows it that well, so they're going to come on board for that. Then they've got the option to buy the actual product that they've just seen. Most people will probably buy the training first, then go and buy the product when he's in the business. Like, Dilan, can you do that for us? Can you work this out? And Dilan can make that recommendation when he goes and does the training, which is really going to help. And then he's got his continuity offer, which means he's in the business. And why would you want to do this continuity offer? Well, he goes and works with him for 3 years. He's got 36 grand over the course of 3 years. It's now not just a £10,000 offer. So it's pretty awesome. Hopefully you're getting all of that. And you understand the psychology of the steps and the fact that we're going to be spending time with people every step of the way. Now, finally, Dilan, let's just map out what are your actions. What actions do we need to do to make this happen, right? So we've talked about there being the training being one issue and the membership being another issue. But there's three things that I see. These are your action steps. Number one, we need to create the hook for your ads, okay? Because we're going to need to run traffic, right? So we need to go and get a really, really good hook that's going to capture some attention. So what you can do is create a few hooks, go and test them in the gold circle and say to people, hey, if you saw this ad, would you go for this version or this version? People give you the feedback straight away. There's hundreds and hundreds of business owners there, so they're going to tell you straight away. So I want to know what's the right hook for the ad. You then got to record the video, because I believe that we should be using a video for these ads so you can explain the concept so we can get that ad running, okay? That's the first thing. The second thing is our downsell. The downsell is important, but it's not the most important. And actually what I think I'd rather prioritize you first is you creating a 4-hour training that you would do with some business owners. How would you help people that know nothing about AI to be able to make progress within their business within 4 hours? So I would go and create that 4-hour training and I would do a beta test with a group of 4 or 5 business owners and say, hey, I want to take 4 or 5 business owners. I want to train you for 4 hours on AI. You can go rent a room in a Regis or whatever else. You know, it might cost you a couple of £100. Get those people in, give them some coffee, train them for 4 hours, get their testimonials. They're going to tell you how incredible this training is. And then what you can use those testimonials when you get on your next calls. Plus you can iron the kinks out of your 4-hour training that you do, because you're going to go on then to sell that next time. Okay. They're my moves I would make first. And then I would launch. Because I think that the training is going to be super popular. And that's going to lead to your other products, your AI Dilan. And your AI Dilan plus continuity is the same offer. It's just a reimagined offer. It's a 12-month license rather than a one-time payment.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's a bit more servicing. So you're going to service them. And the real reason you want to service them is you want to avoid the churn. You want to keep them with you. Yeah. But those bits are the same. Okay. The reason I would launch without the downsell is you could go and spend the next 4, 5, 6 months creating the AI product, the AI course, where you need to be earning money right now. And I'd rather you would go on and get into some businesses, start doing the training, and then you'll find out while you're doing the training all the types of questions that people ask and all the types of questions that people answer, and then you'll be able to actually make the training much more efficiently. So they're the first 3 steps I'll take. Go out, make that happen, come back to me, let's see where you're at, and let's see how far you've gone. So make sure you go and get that business and sell those different opportunities, but don't sleep on the rest of what we said, because this is your real opportunity to take this business to 700,000 plus a year.
Fantastic. That's genius. Absolutely
Super happy. Can you do all of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I can do that.